prayer is like a smartphone. Let's talk about that. Hey parents, it's Chevy here again, bringing you our weekly email to you via video. Promise this one's going to be a lot shorter than last week. So if you stuck in for all 10 minutes of last week's, I told you you'd get a prize. All you need to do is stop by my office or catch me Sunday morning and let me know that you watched all of last week's 10 minutes of video, and I have a prize for you for real. And I'll give you a hint. It starts with Chaco and ends with Olot. So you'll love it. Anyway, I promise today's going to be a lot shorter. First off, let me just start with a couple of announcements. I want you guys to check it out here on the screen, and you should be able to see it right here pop up. Couple things going on. Off the Grid is our regular Ascend programming, except it's not here at the church. It will be at 3 Mile Project. We'll take a bus to get there. We'll leave here at 6 o'clock sharp. We'll be back right around 9 o'clock. The cost is $10. That gets you the bus ride. That gets you reball, basketball courts, volleyball courts, movies, video games, skateboarding park, all the stuff that 3 Mile Project has for only $10. So we love it if you guys jumped on board with this. Get your students signed up, registered on MyPoint ASAP. This is very important. It's regular Ascend programming, so we've been averaging about 150 to 160 kids each week. We're hoping that we get you guys to come to be a part of this. Obviously, only about 60 to 70 fit on the bus, but we'll have some other people driving cars if we have to. Please get registered today, and you can do that at MyPoint. The second thing is our Turkey Bowl is coming up November the 14th. That is a $5 cost. That comes with pizza. There'll also be a parent time talk during the pizza, and it's parents versus students versus turkeys versus adult volunteers, whatever. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys know about Turkey Bowl. This is a long-line tradition. This is Turkey Bowl 5, so show up, have a great time. November the 15th, the day after that, Sunday night, is our very first Ascend FX, and so that's family experience. It doesn't work if you don't come. So parents, you have to come with your students on that night. Be here for Ascend FX. You're going to love it. It's built for you and your family and your students. So excuse me, it's for you and your students in middle school and high school. So be here on November the 15th. Then, just to put a bug in your ear, Freeze Out, our winter retreat, is coming up, and that's on February 5th, 6th, and 7th, but the registration has to be in much earlier than that. You'll start to hear details on that, and then New Year's Eve is also coming up. You'll start to hear details on that. I just want to put those bugs in your ears. I'm not giving you all the details on all that right now. All right, so announcements are done. Let's move on to what we talked about this week at our link groups. Link groups were rocking, man. We had about 150 to 160 students. One house had almost 50 kids and adults there all by itself. So God is doing a thing in our link groups. Thank you for stressing that importance of that for your kids on Sunday nights. And hopefully you guys have the schedule. The next one is on October 4th. This coming Sunday night, we'll be here at the church. September the 27th. So this week at the church, the next week, October 4th, will be at link groups again. But anyway, what we learned in link groups this week, we're still talking about real talk. And real talk is prayer. It's the relationship that we have with God. Last week we talked about fine china, and prayer sometimes one of those things that we feel like is hands off. This week I want to talk to you about how prayer is like a cell phone. I have a cell phone on it. I have a smartphone actually, and I can do everything on the smartphone. I used to have to use this, which is a landline, and it has a nice cord on it, and that is very limited. And landline is kind of the way we view prayer, but smartphone is the way we should view prayer. See, landline, I think sometimes we're like, we can only do one thing. We can only call God or pray to God when we're in trouble. But smartphone says there's many different ways to connect to God through prayer. So I want to go over 4 of those that your students learned this last week in link groups, and I want you to be able to bring it home with them sometime this week in a family worship time, maybe around the dinner table, maybe drive time. But talk to them about these things. 4 different apps, if you will, on your smartphone of prayer for to connect with God. Worship. Prayers for worship. Spend time in prayer, worshiping God, loving on God, telling Him how great He is, how wonderful He is. Even pray while you're listening to worship music. This is something that hopefully your students doing, you're doing, but maybe you guys can do together as a family. Gratitude. That's an awesome application for prayer. Gratitude. Telling God, hey, thank you, Lord, for everything that you've done for me. And He's done so much. I mean, hopefully right now you can start counting your blessings, and they're innumerable. Because God is a God. He's a good, good Father. He loves you. He cares for you. He's going to take care of you. And so hopefully the way that you communicate that with your student is huge, because if they see you as a good, good father and a good, good mother, and parents that love them, they can see God that way too, and they'll give that gratitude and honor. Confession, an application. Confession. Hey, we all sin. We all struggle. Hopefully you're being real about that with your students so that they recognize I can be real about that with God. And whenever they see that you're real with your sin and confession of when you make mistakes, they'll confess that to God. They'll bring that before Him and say, hey, God, I messed up. Lord, I'm sorry. Forgive me. So prayer is for confession. And then the last app is what I would call people and praying for others. And it's very important to pray for others. The big word here is intercessory prayer. If somebody's dealing with an issue, you're called to carry that burden. And carrying that burden means laboring in prayer. If your kids see you praying for other people diligently, that'll be ingrained in their lives so that they're praying for people diligently as well. Prayer is a huge thing, guys. So that's our lesson for this week. Hopefully you guys are doing it at home. You're keeping it real. Real talk. That's the end of this series, but hopefully you guys drive it home this week. Prayer is important. Love y'all. Have your kids at Send this Sunday night, 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. We're really excited about our new series coming up, Wired, and you guys will hear about that next week. God bless. Have a great day.